This light is blinding me. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Sisters of Legacy. We're gonna run our intro. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back for yet another Thursday of our show, Sisters of Legacy. I am Samantha Walker. Joining me typically every Thursday is Katrina Taylor
Hello.
and Shanana McNair.
Hey.
We have also had a fourth that probably will be joining us shortly. But we'll hold out and see how that works out for her. So, ladies, thank you so much for your time. As always, I appreciate your time and your support. Our topic for this week is actually kind of long. It's a lot of moving parts to it. So I did want to just try to abbreviate it at the bottom, just to kind of keep it short. Hey, ladies. Hello, Anthony Walker. But our total title, or the long version, is Are we challenging ourselves to do or be and love better? That made more sense. It flowed better in my head. Or are we just following societal norms? So I think that's the biggest part that I kind of wanted to focus on. The Are we following the societal norms? Like, are we really trying to be our best self? Um, or are we just going along with the societal norms? I guess since we're all women, we could just talk about first, the societal norms amongst women. Like, I was having a conversation today with my 13-year-old. Trina, I'm sure you probably be real familiar with this conversation. So she sings in chorus in school. And there's always kids in chorus that think they the next Mariah or, whatever, like they in there trying to hit notes that they're missing and all this other stuff. So she was telling me how there's this girl, that tries to hit these really high notes, like she's Mariah Carey, how she misses it and, she never hits the note and she was kind of going on and she thinks she could sing so good. And I had to explain to her that she was like, oh, she thinks she's a star. So I told my daughter, I explained to her, I was like, do you know how many stars there are in space? Like, have you ever took the time to think about how many stars there are? And she's like, like a lot. I was like, exactly. And I was telling her, it doesn't have to be one star. Like, that's fine. She can be a star. But so can you. Like, you can shine, you shine because you're a star. It doesn't matter, how bright she shines. That doesn't make you any less of a star. I was telling her, like, you both can shine. You both can be stars. And I think about, when it comes to women, a lot of times, and I can only speak as a woman because I am only a woman. I can't speak about, how men, because I'm not a man. But as a woman, sometimes when you find multiple women, maybe in the same field, in the same space, there's sometimes competition, or there's that one woman. But I kind of feel like my daughter in a sense, like, but she's not the star because I'm the star. Sometimes other women don't always appreciate the fact that more than one person can shine, at the same time. That all the stars in space, they all shine. When it gets dark, they all shining. Like, stars don't stop shining because there's a star next to them. And so when I think about the societal norms, it's like it's almost expected for women not to get along, or for women to be catty or competitive or jealous of one another. And I wanted to see, how you ladies felt about that. Do you think that's the norm? Is that something you've experienced, or even something you may be currently experiencing? So, what's your experience with that, ladies?
For me, I would have to say I think it is a norm that people expect some women just not to get along, and for it to always be like a competition. Oh, she got the outfit I have, or oh, she got her hair like mine, or oh, you just trying to, you trying to look, better than me, or you trying to dress better than me, or any of those things. I think it's definitely the expected norm. Um but I think when you have a certain level of self-confidence and awareness of yourself, you realize and begin to learn to realize, and maybe it comes also with age and maturity, that you begin to realize that I'm not in competition with anybody around me. I'm only trying to be a better me each day and not better than you. It's room, like you told your baby, it's room for all of us to be stars. It's room for all of us to shine, and we don't have to compete. Like, I'm not looking at you ladies and saying, oh, okay, well, next week I need to make sure that I do this so that I'm popping just a little bit more. I need to change my hair so that I can outshine Trina. I need to change, I need to make sure I wear a little bit of lip gloss so, I can outshine. Like, no, we're here together. We're sharing a space, and each of us have our own qualities that stand out about us. And the sooner we learn how to grab hold of that in other women and compliment what you see shining in somebody else, I think the better off more of us will be, because you realize I don't have to fight for anybody's attention. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that comes with age, because I think like a lot of younger girls are real catty. And as you get older, you realize, for what? Why am I doing all of this? Or if it's just, something that we could teach our young girls, that you don't have to fight for a spotlight. If you learn to lift up other people and highlight their strengths, then yours will be highlighted too.
Right. So, I got a question. I want you to think about it while Trina's answering.
Okay.
So with that, like you said, you have enough confidence in yourself, but then how do you deal with the person that may be competing with you all on their own? So think about that. Trina, go ahead.
Um, I feel like my experience has been, I think, something that Shanetta said right at the end, that I think it does have to do with maturity, not age, but maturity. Um, because I feel like less mature women probably are more, um, I guess, that expected catty or jealous or whatever. But I, I I don't know that it's something that's limited to women, because I've been around guys, again, maturity, who talk about the next guy and they're like, that N word out here trying to showboat, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And so I feel like, I don't know that it has to do with females, males. I think it's just people who are immature or insecure, and I absolutely feel like it goes across all racial, because I've heard men of all, you know, men and women of all colors who have something to say and are catty and all these other things, and somebody walk out the room, they got something to say, and I'm like, yeah. So,
I'm sorry, my
yeah.
computer's doing something weird.
Oh, okay. So I do think it has to do with maturity levels. Um, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what stopped. I'm sorry. I know that was very distracting. I was trying to send the SOS to my husband because the computer seems to be wigging out just a little bit. I did. It keeps popping back up. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me, guys. We're having all kind of technical difficulties. Okay, so like I said, it's definitely not exclusive to women. Because I mean, my daughter, she's a little girl, so it's something that can happen, at all ages. I'm assuming, as well as in all sexes. I was just trying to limit it to, probably the area that we experience it in, because we're women. So, Shanetta,
So, how do I deal with a person competing against me?
yeah.
I guess the first question I would have, is it a silent competition or have they made it known that they're competing? Like, am I aware? Or am I like out here figuring it out? I don't know. But if I'm unaware, then I guess like if they're showing signs like and doing things and saying things that make me feel like, hey, do you think like we're competing? Honestly, I think I would address it like, "Hey, like, are you good? Are you okay? We can both be in this space and like we can both thrive in the same space." Um, if they've made it known to me that they're trying to compete against me, my first reaction is probably laughing because I'm not a competitive person in that sense. Like, there are certain things where you can get a little bit of drive out of me and get me to be a little bit competitive. Like if I think I can win a game, then I'm definitely going to talk like, just much junk about it and like make you feel like I'm really about to bring it, even though I'm probably gonna lose. Like, give me some Uno cards, and I'm gonna talk a whole lot of junk. I might still lose, but I'm going to act like I'm going to win that game. So competitive in that sense, like I will roll with you every sense of it. But if like you're competing with like being a better woman than me, I'm probably just gonna be like, hey, you got it. You think you better than me? You got it. Like I'm not going to argue with you about it. One thing that I've learned and that I try to stand by is that you know how you talk about how a person can't argue by themselves? A person cannot compete by themselves. So if I step out of the race and literally say to you, you got it, you're probably gonna stop running because you're gonna be looking like, okay, well, nobody's running with me. What am I doing out here? So honestly, I think if a person is trying to compete against me in an area where we don't need to be competing, I'm probably gonna be like, I see you. I see what you got it. You won this race, boo. You got it. You the winner. You won. What is it? What's the prize? What did you win? Because like I really want to know. Because like you're the winner. I'm probably gonna antagonize you more. That's probably gonna make you angrier, but in that sense, that I'm not gonna compete with you. I'm really gonna be like, oh, look at you, and that's about it because it's no use in me doing that. I'm just gonna make myself look smaller and make myself look crazier for sitting here saying, oh, she's trying to compete against me. She thinks she cuter than me. Let me go put on something cuter. Oh, she think her hair look better than mine. Let me go see Kim and get my stuff done. Like, I'm not gonna do all that with you. I don't have that kind of time. I'm trying to be cute all in within my own head. I do not have time to be trying to compete against somebody else. If we got the same outfit, I'm definitely gonna tell you that it looks cute on you, and I'm gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna try to remember not to wear it on the same day you wearing because I really don't want to be Bobsy twinning it out here with no grown woman. But sometimes it happens like that. I showed up at church one Sunday, and I told the girl we had on the same dress. I told the girl I was like, "Oh, I know where you shop," and that was it. Like, and but it wasn't like I'm wearing it better than her. Like it wasn't any of that. It was just like, oh, I know where you shop, girl. Huh, okay, I know we got the same
Hey,
dress.
man.
Put it in rotation. Put some things in rotation, but we're not competing. Nah.
He said, twinning is fine and fun.
It can
Not,
be.
not as adults, it's not. Not so much. So Vanessa, before you joined, I don't know how much you heard, but we were just kind of starting with the societal norms and how, especially in this day and age, it's almost normal or society expects and dictates, that women can't really coexist in the same space, without somebody getting petty or catty or whatever. So we were kind of talking about um, he said it means you're on the same page. Yeah, it means something. Means something. So we were kind of talking about just our experiences with that. Have you experienced that? And then on the flip side of it, even if you weren't willing to, even if you weren't competing with someone, but you noticed that they were somehow competing with you, like how do you deal with that situation?
Oh, that's a lot. I think, we all great in our own right. I think you should always strive to do better and be better. And if you see someone who's as fabulous as me and there's something about me that you'd love to emulate, I definitely take that as a compliment. No, I've never really experienced that. I can at times be petty, but that's just a personal thing about me. That's never like, anything to do with competition, but yeah, I've never really had anybody who tried to, like outdo me in anything. And if they did, I probably wasn't paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm focused on what I'm trying to do, and I mean, I've seen women and I know women that I aspire to be like, and they have attributes and things that I admire about them. So I inquire about, maybe their organizational skills or, how they may do certain things, their dress or what have you. But nah, not no, no, don't try to be like me. That's not gonna work out well for you. It took me a long time to develop all of this greatness and how I'm, how I pizzazz it all. Nah, but no, I've never experienced that. I mean, I've seen it in action. You know what I'm saying? Like in the workforce, you have people who are like I mean, I'm a nurse, so I'm working with other nurses, and they just be like, like trying to outdo each other and try to outtalk each other, and I just be looking like, I don't think it's that serious, but hey, I could be wrong. I don't see what they see. So, yeah, if we not like competing like for a race, a game, if there's some money involved, then that's that may get me to compete, but not just, like out of sheer, like trying to be like somebody else. So, mm,
And Trina, so I know you say I don't really sing. I'm not a singer, but let's just think times past. Before you've been singing for a lot of years, and you sang with choirs and choruses and whatever. Have you ever had that experience with somebody trying to out alto you?
Oh, Elton. Um, I don't know. I was back then. I was always kind of not trying to sing. Like I was always trying to get out of it a lot. I was mad. I was up there. They were trying to give me a mic. I was like, let me. Um, no, like I don't out sing. Mm, I I mean, if it was, I wasn't paying attention. Like I don't competition. I mean, I mean, I mean, I've seen people like really. I never participated in the pass the mic and then the next person riff because like I said, I don't really have too many runs. I'm a background singer. I'm singing in the background. I'm trying to hold my harmony part. I'm gonna harmonize with you, and that's what I like to do. I just like to sing in the background. Sing, I just singing in the background. So, yes, I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna be the one to compete because if you take the mic and you go walking down the aisle, get down the aisle.
We clapping it up for you. Go on, girl. Do it. Yes, God. Come on.
So do you
I
think
did
there's
have
like
somebody turn my mic down. I've had that happen.
What?
I've been singing with groups and stuff, and yeah,
Well,
yeah. Turn her mic off. Turn her music. Turn her mic down. Yeah.
what? We have
mm.
to talk about that later.
Okay, so do you think there is like do you think there could be any what? Sir, if you don't, do you think there could be any healthy aspect to that? To somebody to somebody competing with you or against you? Do you think there can be any healthy aspect to that?
I think
I
it depends
think.
on it.
Go ahead.
I think it depends on the area of like
Okay.
what, like why, like what it is. Because I think that some things, if you're aware of, and like it can kind of be like a challenge to push you to where it'll cause you to maybe experience growth in a
Okay.
particular area if it's challenging the right way, but not in a way like I've got to prove that I'm better than this person for clout's sake, for just for attention's sake. I need to prove that I'm better. I think that there's some, like, sometimes we need to be challenged, sometimes we need to be pushed, and sometimes someone like coming to, when my kids were little, my husband is competitive now with, and when the kids were little, my mindset was always, okay, we're going to teach them how to play Candyland. I'm going to teach them, and then I'm going to let them win. Not their dad. He was like, oh, I'm finna whoop them. It's Candyland, sir. Like, you can't do that. And he was like, no, it's gonna drive their competitive edge. So he went out, he bought these video games. So he's teaching the boys, and my daughter, she will be down there with them too. He teaching them how to do the Wii boxing. And they would have them little controllers, and they would be in front of the TV, and he would be knocking my children out, like to the point where I almost felt like it was real. Like, you really knocking my baby out, and it's just a little weak character or whatever. And he would be knocking them children out, and he'd be like, next. And then they'd come in the next one. And I'm talking about, my kids would walk away in tears. They would like full face, full blown tears. And I'm like, sir, like, you can't treat the children like this. And he was like, nah, they'll be all right. And now, when you look at them and when you look at anything that they're doing, they literally all have the mindset of, oh, you not finna beat me. Like, I don't care what it is. We could be playing jacks. And they're like, oh, you're not finna beat me. So it drove them to be better. It drove them to be more competitive, and it worked. So they are very competitive people. Sometimes it's positive. Other times, I'm a little concerned. Because they will absolutely flip a Monopoly table or Uno, table over like it's a game of spades or something. Like, they whole week's paycheck is dependent on it. But they are very competitive people, but it did teach them how to fight for what they wanted in that sense. So it depends on the competition. Now, if you're trying to out pretty me, like, I'm not competing with you. We can both be pretty, and that's okay. I'm just not going to compete with you. That's not even healthy for anyone to be walking around trying to be cuter than the next woman. Like, we all have our own shine. So I think it depends on the category to determine whether it's healthy or not healthy.
Okay. Vanessa?
I mean, I definitely agree. You may have to check yourself sometimes. You may not be, living up to your full potential. You know what I'm saying? You may see somebody, who might be a little slimmer, a little curvier, and you just be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna push this chicken fried chicken to the side. I think I'm gonna get me a salad for dinner. You may their intentions may be to like I've met people, like they flaunt whatever it is about them, whether they're, pretty or they can sing or they have money or whatever it is, and they, try to flaunt it around and feel like they're so much better than you. Meanwhile, it's just motivating you to do better and be better, not necessarily to, compete with them, but to just, level up yourself. So, I mean, in that sense, I think it's cool. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, we're not about to. Nope. We all hanging out, and nobody's prettier than anybody. You can be cute right in your little box. Don't get in my cute box, though. I'm just saying.
So, so Vanessa, when I sent you the topic, you was like, "Oh, that's a good topic." So, what was the first thing that came to mind when you saw the topic?
Um, the first thing that came to mind for me was, I think, my own personal bouts that I've had with what the norms are in society and where I stand and how I feel about me. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm at the stage in my life where I feel pretty liberated about who I am, what I like, what I'm gonna do. I have gotten past that point of like really caring what people think and how they feel about, what I say, what I do, and the more I free myself in my own personal beliefs and values, the better I feel. Like I may say something and be like, I really don't care. Like, I'm sure you're not gonna agree. What I just said, I said it. There you have it. So for me, like I just thought about how freeing it is to be able to be yourself, unapologetic, be who you are, have your values. And I feel like we're in a place in society now, some of it has really gone to the left. But I do like the fact that it's allowed us to kind of break away from a lot of molds, in those old fashioned and traditional ways of thinking about things. So it really gave me like an outside of the box kind of feel.
Okay. And Trina, what was your first thought when you saw the topic?
I think I kind of honed in on the challenging myself to love better part, as far as um, how can I show love um, and be more intentional about it. Um, so then I started thinking about ways that I could do that. And I guess it because I work with crazy children all day, and I really just this week I listed the fruit of the spirit and I put them up on the wall so that I could refer to it during the day, because those children drive me to pray and to confer with the scriptures. Because seriously, threes are worse than twos because they have things to say
Hmm.
that sometimes make sense, but sometimes it don't. And so we trying to get through the what anyway, we're not going there. But anyway, what I'm saying is that finding ways to and it's a challenge on a daily basis, because when you have a child or children who refuse to get their pamper changed, refuse to be potty trained, they're three and they refuse. So it's like I have to find ways on a daily basis, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but Father God, like the amount of times I call on the Father,
Uh,
so I really have to find ways to show love and find ways to um just be patient. Like I focused on patience today. I have to do one at a time. So we were focusing on patience today because they work every little, I mean, because it's just every day I give them their snack, whatever, and I hate this. And 3 seconds later, they'll start eating it. But they throw a tantrum about how they don't like it, they don't want it, and then they'll go to eating it. And then it's just like, I don't want to. Everything is they're contrarian. It's a contrary spirit. And I said, Lord, can I rebuke contrary spirits in 3-year-olds? I don't know. I don't know. Do I rebuke or not? I don't know. But so really just trying to do better with how I react to them, how I, because, yeah, there's psychology behind it, but they still irk your nerves at the end of the day. So, and I have to, be mindful of their age and their development, and pray and just pray.
Okay, Shanetta.
When I first saw the topic, I think I honed in on the doing better piece of it, or like being better portion of it, more so than the loving better. I think when I first read it, I was like, huh? And like I had to go back and look at it, and I was like, oh, I see. Okay, I understand. But I did focus in on the doing or being better portion of it. And I think my thoughts of like, how could I be better? How could I do better? Like pushing myself, challenging myself to do more. Or like, I think you all know that I have spent the last couple of years in like a comfort zone, and I'm happy in my comfort zone. Like I'm happy in my comfortable place, and I'm not trying to challenge myself. Honestly, every time somebody else tries to challenge me to do more or to like be more, mostly in my career field, I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I threw a whole tantrum at the end of last school year. And after the tantrum, I realized what was happening and that they were trying to put me in kind of maybe a position of leadership. And I had this whole tantrum about it. And I was like, oh, I see what was happening there. I didn't want that anyway. It's okay. I'm glad I threw my tantrum. And I like kind of kept going, like, whatever. Because I I put myself in this box of comfort, and I'm okay with it. And I'm like, I'm comfortable here. Why shall I ever challenge myself to move or do anything different? Like, go to work every day, mind your business, and come home. You start challenging yourself to be great, and then you have challenges. Who wants that? Who wants to do that?
Wants to be challenged.
So that's kind of where I've been living, and I'm like, is it time? And like every once in a while, I ask myself the question, like, is it time for me to push myself? Like I've gotten all these little certifications. I'll go to every class that they ask me to go to. In fact, I'm taking 2 this school year. But then when they're like, hey, since you have this certification, will you do this? I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Keep me where I am. I'm fine. I'm comfortable. So every once in a while, I do ask myself, oh, is it time for me to challenge myself? Is it time for me to do something different? And somebody be like, oh, you will be great at such and such so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, I probably would be, but I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
so wow. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all praying? Pray for me.
Something that I thought about when Trina was talking about the challenge for love. So my son's girlfriend, she said to me, I said, well, why didn't you just, I don't know what we were talking about. She was like, I don't know, because sometimes you mean. And I was like, did you think I was going to be nice to you forever? Like, once you around somebody long enough, you kind of stop being as super sweet, and you just kind of treat them like you treat your other kids, like go sit down, can you bring me something to eat, hey, when you go out, take the trash with you, like that kind of.
Not the girl can take the trash with you, girl, on your way home.
No, because we not taking out no trash. It's it's enough men, muscles, and testosterone in here. We not taking out no trash. But just in the sense that like even you around somebody long enough, all that super cutesy stuff, and not sometimes you just let them have it the way they need to get it. And it bothered me this morning because I was like, it's true that like you kind of do treat strangers better than you treat the people you love, and how like because certain things that I would say to somebody at work or what have you, I'm probably not gonna say it that nice to somebody at home or whatever. So that I really thought about that a lot. Like I'm gonna be a little nicer to young ladies. I don't think I mean, I'm just I keep it a bug. You hanging around the family now, so. Yeah, now when you going home, before it was like, hey, can you tell her that she can't? Okay, cool. Now I'd be like, hey, what we doing? So. But it did definitely give me that, like, that love. Just, work on that a little bit.
Okay, so Shanetta, I'm sure this question was probably for you, but I guess in one way or another, everybody can kind of answer it. He said, do you ever feel like you are missing out on opportunities?
Nope, not at all.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, my goodness.
I sat here looking at this question, and I knew the Shanetta in you was not going to let you.
No, not at all. Let me tell you something. We were looking at my son asked me a question. I was telling him, oh yeah, we're doing nominations for teacher of the year. I don't know if it was my son or my husband, one of them. I was talking to them about that, and they were like, oh, like, is that something you striving for? You want to be teacher of the year? No. And they were like, why not? And I was like, first of all, you have to fill out a whole application. Furthermore, it's extra meetings. Like, I don't want to go to any extra. No, I don't want that. And they were like, but it's the title, it's the prestige, and I was like, I do not care. You get a parking spot, and that's it. Like, a parking spot and extra meetings. I don't care. No, I do not. Opportunities. I just don't. And that's what drives me to not challenge myself in those areas, because I'm just like, no, like it's like that's probably gonna be like 5 extra meetings. If I sign up for one thing, I'm not sure I want it. And then I started calculating, like, okay, so they'll pay you this much more to do this. That means that's about 2 cents more an hour. Nope, thank you. I don't like I don't have like, so for me, like, no, I found this box. I found this place of comfort, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Will there come a time later? Maybe, but today, I'm good. I'm okay in my little box. And I really be trying to keep people out of my box. Like, stop coming in here trying to give me extra stuff to do. Like, do you want me to be the minute taker in a meeting? Why? When would I do that?
Okay, so
I feel like
trying to put this topic together.
I know this is not how you saw that
coming. But you know what? I feel like I've been where you are, Shanetta. That I'm good. I don't need to. But then sometimes things will come from somewhere else to make you to shake you out of that. And it might come as an agitation. It might come as something that stirs you to where you're just like, yeah. And you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here anymore. And you thought it was going to be like competition or motivation. And it's aggravation. That's what motivated me to move. I can't take this anymore. And sometimes, like, you're not going to be motivated until you are motivated. Somebody else can't motivate you.
Right.
And you don't know where it's going to come from. And it might not come from, oh, this person is doing so much better, let me. It might just be like, yeah, y'all doing too much. I'm doing something else at this point because y'all, I can't. or you're frustrated where you are, or you feel stuck. But it has to come, whatever it does, whatever it is, some motivation has to come from within. For me, anyway. Like, you're not gonna come and tell me you need to. I'm like, yeah, and for me, usually I'm gonna be sitting here comfortably, like you said, Shanetta, until I'm aggravated, or I no longer, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's gotta be some kind of, like, you know, I need, I guess, like an irritation to make me be like, all right, I'll go, type thing. So for me, like, I will stay stuck. I will stay stuck until I'm, because I mean, there were some good things about it, but I spent 20 years in an industry that I was just like, I wasn't excited about it. Oh yeah, I'm cutting off somebody's payments today. Woohoo! I'm approving surgery today. Yeah, great. I wasn't happy, Lord. I wasn't happy. I had to get to a point where I was just completely aggravated to make a move.
Right.
So,
Oh, that sounded like you started that whole thing with that. I felt like the next thing should have been like, and not in so many days, Sister Shanetta.
Right.
I felt like a Shana now was finna transpire. I just like the way you came out. I was like, oh, Shanetta.
Right.
She's gonna be feeling some kind of way real soon.
Yo, I promise. I was sitting here like, oh, and I'm like, what's about that?
Y'all know me better than that.
Listen, you said that when you said you feel a stirring, I said,
I don't got no oil over here.
Like at the computer.
Oil.
My goodness.
Well, listen, I think, when I was thinking about, so like, or maybe it might just be in my head. So I'll say, like, in my head, in the last couple of years, like, my, Lord have mercy, my inner person, my inner man, has become very different. Like, my perspective on things, the way I take things, the way I process things. And so, like, in my mind anyway, I always feel like I've kind of challenged myself in different areas to do different things. And so, like, as of late, like, it's been a big uphill battle with, I'll just say, some relationships in my life. Not my marriage. My husband's fine. Man. It's all good. But like with other outside relationships in my life, like, some things have become like a struggle. And for me, like, I'm typically like, yeah, want to talk? Hey, want to talk to you? Know it. Like, and I'm good. But like, as of late, I've felt challenged to, try to do better and be better and kind of, I guess, love people better. And so, like, I've really been struggling with a couple of different relationships lately with the whole trying to love people better. And it's like, I've gotten to the point where I just want to smack you upside the head, because it's almost like, you remember that cartoon, like Elmira, and she like, I'm gonna hug you and squeeze you and make me, you was gonna take her love, no matter, whatever. He wasn't gonna get away. He was gonna be loved by Elmira. And sometimes, like, I feel myself when I'm like, don't you see, I'm trying to love you. Like, I'm trying to love you. Like, take my love. My daughter gets to where she's telling mommy, don't deny my love. Like, and so, like, sometimes I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with people. Like, it's like, I'm trying to love you. Like, why does my love feel like, what does it feel like to you? Trying to put myself in other people's position to try to see, okay, so in my mind, I'm loving you, but like what's happening, in your mind? And like, so lately, I've kind of been trying to challenge myself to stand on the other side of it, but still, because it's still me on both sides. Like, I'm like, that would feel like love, like, it would feel like love to me. Like, it wouldn't feel like whatever. So, like I was like, well, maybe we need to, I need to talk to the ladies, see how like they think about challenging yourself and, trying to do better and love people better. Hi, Mother Norris. Listen, we always gotta stop and say hi to you. Um, so like, I really kind of want to explore that. Like, do you find it, I've heard several times when each of you have spoken, you said, at this point in my life. Like, I've heard that from, I think, all three of you at one point or another in this conversation. And I'm just wondering, like, at this point in your life, at the age you're at the stage or the season that you're in, are you challenging yourself to love people better or differently? Or is it just like you're gonna get this love or you're not, and that's fine too? Like, where do you stand on that? And I mean like not people like Mother Naras, that you can't outlove her. You know what I'm saying? You can't give her, she all for it. I'm talking about, like people, like the real mean ushers. Like you can't go in on Sunday and be pleasant enough for them. You come in, oh God bless you, oh hi, you can't be polite enough to those people. So like, are you challenging yourself in this season to love those kind of people differently, or love them better, or at least make an attempt to do those things?
I think for me, I like what Trina said earlier about posting the sticky note up with the fruit of the spirit and kind of referring back to it. I've literally had the fruit of the spirit posted in my bathroom near where I wash my face. So like as soon as I wash my face, after I like grab my towel to dry my face, when I open my eyes, that's like right there. It's been there for a couple of years. Um and just in thinking about it and listening to what you were just saying, I think that when I think about that, I think about treating people right and making sure that no matter how they are towards me, that I control how I respond to them and I control how I handle them, because I'm not responsible for how somebody chooses to handle me, but I'm very much so responsible for how I handle people, for how I am, whether I'm having a great day, bad day, or whatever. Um, and if I can't find my nice deep down on the inside, then at least I'm not going to be harmful. I'm not going to do any harm to you as I'm, processing my emotions and processing how I feel. In loving better, I think sometimes when you find those people who are challenging to love, those people who make it a little hard to keep loving them and to keep treating them the way that you're supposed to. For me, I try to remember that I'm not doing it for them. It's about me. So, and trying to remember to love people how they need to be loved, because how Sam needs to be loved and how Vanessa needs to be loved and how Trina needs to be loved, three completely different things. And what you need from me at any particular moment may be very different. I can't just handle everybody the same way. You might need something different from me. And being conscious enough and aware enough to know that I'm here for a reason, and that if I'm a part of your life, that I'm a part of your life to give you something, or for you to give me something, or for us to kind of be that exchange for each other. And I need to do my part. I need to make sure that I handle you, the right way, and not just treat people any kind of way. I don't never want to be out here. And like, we all have our moments and we all have our personalities, but I don't ever want to be out here intentionally like trying to hurt people and acting like it doesn't matter. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that sometimes we do hurt people's feelings. Sometimes like how we move just makes somebody uncomfortable. Um, but I'm not out here trying to intention like waking up this morning saying, "Oh, what can I go do tonight? I'm gonna see the ladies tonight. How many toes can I step on? How many feelings can I hurt when I get on this show tonight? What can I say to, to dig a hole in one of them?" Like, no, just kind of being conscious of how you move, I think, is the most important thing when you're trying to make sure you love people the right way.
I think I kind of honed in on what you were saying, Sam, about how does the love you give, how does it feel to that person? And I think that's kind of the point of course, the love languages. How is that person receiving? Because you could be trying to give them, and that's not what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times, somebody will try to help you with something, but that's not what you need. Like, I got this part covered. I need your help over here. I'm
Right.
doing this. You coming over here trying to do this part with me, but all this is not getting handled. So sometimes we need to ask people, what can I do to help you? How can I help you? I remember I was going through this is I think around COVID, and I was having some financial difficulties, and somebody offered a trip, give me a trip. Oh, I'll fly you and you can come spend time. And I'm like, excuse me, can you not spend that money for that? Could you just kind of help me pay this bill?
Right.
And they were a little bit offended because they were thinking, oh, this is a good idea. You could come and we could do this trip or whatever. And I'm like, I understand that you want to pay that for me, pay for me to go, but I'm over here concerned about these bills right here. And I know they felt a little offended, but I'm like, I just really can't focus on that right now. I'm like, you know. So sometimes we need to ask people, how can I help you?
Yeah.
When we're trying to help them. So maybe we also need to ask, how can I love you? How can I, maybe we just don't, we don't always get it. Like, we feel like because this is the way we want to be loved, that that's the way you want to be loved. But sometimes, I guess we need to ask or try to be more observant of how that person or what that person needs.
That's good. Vanessa, you look like you want to say something.
Um, um, yeah. Um, so I know for me personally, sometimes I ask questions and people, I think they trying to see if like I'm trying to be funny, if I'm trying to be sarcastic. And I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Like I'm for real. Like I'm asking you because I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to understand where you coming from. Like when you
Right.
said this, what this is what I got from it. Is that what you
Right.
meant? Because you know. So for me, I'm really intentional with the conversations that I'm having, and I'm trying to make sure um, I understand what you're saying. And so for me, sometimes the best way for me to love somebody is to make sure that I'm straight, because you might say something the wrong way to somebody, or you may take something the wrong way, and I can be abrasive sometimes and, a little aggressive in my tone and my behavior. And I don't mean nothing by it. I just, I'll be done and gone. And then, like, everybody's not going to feel free to take the invitation and say, hey, Vanessa, when you said or you did, I felt this way. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I try to open up those doors and be honest and as open as possible. And I'm always saying to people, now I find myself being like, okay, now look, if like, you see this, you
It's
see
the
what you're getting.
warning.
It's not no, you're not finna meet the representative or none of that. I'm too old for that. That's not what I'm doing. This is it. If I do something or I say something, I'm giving you the opportunity at any given point in time to say, you felt this way. Because I may not have meant anything by it, and I may not have been paying attention to my tone or, my face. Me, I am so intentional of making sure.
Okay, I think you froze because you definitely stuck. Okay, everybody else is moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I saw all the wheels turning. I said, well, what have I done? Everybody's going. So for me, like, I think I really check myself a lot. And even in the same idea of making sure that what you're giving is what people want to receive, I'm also very intentional with expressing how I feel, because if I like you, I want you to know that I like you. If I feel a certain way, I want to be able to express that, because I like compliments or I like gifts. That may be something that you may be in for a treat, because the things that I like, I want to reciprocate that. But then again, like you said, sometimes you got to pull it in, or try to make sure that what you're giving is what the person is expecting.
Gotcha. Okay, so tonight in this conversation, we've used a lot of great words like intentional and being self-aware of what you're doing and checking your own self and putting yourself in the other person's shoes and basically kind of running your own race. Like it's not a competition. If you're going forward, you can't keep looking to the side to see what, kind of what other people are doing. Kind of stay focused on who you want to be. Like that's the heart of it. Focus on being your best self. I know, people out here, they living their best life and all of that. We want to do that, but we want to do that with a level of compassion and integrity and definitely intentionality. With how we present ourselves to others. It doesn't really matter. People sometimes are going to see what they see or hear what they hear, but your presentation goes a long way. So I think we need to focus on presenting our best selves, and stay on that line with compassion, presenting your best self. Like that's one of the things that has been big for me is trying to present my best self at all times with compassion, because sometimes that inner New Yorker just creeps up out of me, and before I can grab her, she done kind of run amok a little bit. But I'm working on it. We all are works in progress. And to be honest, if you're alive, you have a chance to do something different. We talk about that all the time, doing things different, making different decisions. If you turned left last time, turn right this time. It's never too late as long as you're breathing to correct yourself. That's it. I can't. I know we think I can check her. I'll correct her. All of that. You can't. You can only correct yourself. You can only be your best self. So I think those are the things we need to focus on, regardless of what society says is the norm. You have to figure out who your best self is. So we are definitely on every Thursday or every Thursday-ish, because sometimes life just be moving too fast. But we are on Thursdays at 8. Oh, I did something. At 8 p.m. Meeting my wonderful co-hosts, my ladies. They support me. They show up. Oh Lord, I don't know what I'm
I don't
doing.
got no hair
And
yet, so okay.
they are here with me. So until next week, y'all stay safe.
Thank you for watching The Sisters of Legacy.